Company is ILEG Technology Screens. We're on the dual flex system. These are the 18 by 24 screens. So these are coming out in 2026. These things do so much more than just sit on your desk. And for gaming applications or visual effects or whatever you want to use them for, they also have the ability to be taken outside. So outside capabilities are the same because these screens that you saw in the video demonstrations, they can fire up anywhere they want to go. So I don't have to be sitting here on the desk with them. I can take them outside any time of the day. I don't require high-end and high-power projectors. The setup we have here, we're using a Masonic projector, which is hitting that screen over here. That is around 50 lumens. And then the one on the far end is basically using the QME Q2 projector, and that one is 300 lumens. I've used both of these projectors outside on this technology and was able to pull out images with no problem whatsoever, especially in direct sunlight when you're dealing with 100 to 120,000 lux of direct sunlight. I'm over here, put my phone on the charger. So we just ordered the ultra short throw lamp for the NEC. I think it's a 361X. We ordered that one right there. So we can do some more demonstrations on ultra short throws, showing you why you do not have to be stuck. We've done this already before. We've literally been down this road before on that projector, showing you why you don't have to be stuck in a dark environment. I have no idea why people are in dark environments with these ultra short throw setups. I don't get that part at all. I mean, the machine literally, like I said, sits right directly on top of your wall. So I don't know how in the world someone's having an issue with that thing being okay. Yeah, you forget about that part. Yeah, that part because they can't see the contrast and color. That's why it's being darker environments. That's why. So that I see right there. Because that's the only reason for it. The reason why you would be in that dark environment is because you can't get your contrast and colors to pull, and you are better in a dark environment. Now, would I say it's the projector's fault? Unless you got an knockoff, then it's definitely the projector's fault. But if you have a name brand projector and you're stuck in the dark with a $3,700 machine, and I got a $60 ultra short throw, and I can run this fully lit environment, there's something wrong there. So once we get the lamp in, which we're blessed to get the lamp for only, I got the lamp for $36, which is fantastic. $36 for the lamp. That's going to be coming in soon. I do want to extend my screen sizes. So my screens are 32, 119 inches at 235.1. And we're going to convert them to 1610 screens because we can still do the 235.1. Our screens are all black. We don't have border issues. Usually when you deal with gray and white screens, you got border issues. You can't do that. You can't expand your screen because there's an issue with that border problem. We can do it over here because we don't have to worry about the whole border issue, where our screen ends and where it begins. So I'm going to be expanding my screen. I'll be to do 16:9, 16:10. And 235.1. I'm going to use the panel system because it's cheap, affordable, and they lock together nicely. I'm not going with the other company anymore because the other company on my panels got here, they were damaged on the end, so we're not touching them anymore. So we'll go back to the other company and I'll order from them and do it that way instead. I think I'll salvage which ones didn't get damaged. I think we got 5 of them that got damaged like that. So we'll just basically just replace them, rebuild the screen, do it all over again. It's pretty easy to do that setup anyway. Over here doing this. I finally got the dual panel set up. We're trying to do this, but I had arts and crafts on the table, and that involves some crystal clear technology we're working on involving this technology. So that village is put on hold for a little bit. So we're working on some other stuff. So we're going to expand the screen size, and we're going to get ready to get the floor ready. Because once we get the lamp for that projector, it's also designed for floor applications too. That's why we have a special stand sitting on it. Oh, you're in the wrong direction, aren't you? So we'll be able to show off why we have a stand. Well, that's why we have a stand on our projector. It's for tabletop and floor projection application. Those stands, by the way, they're not easy to get. I was lucky to get my hands on one of them. They're very hard to find. They're about $100, so they're very hard to find. But the NEC, that particular type of projector is different from other ultra short throws. It has a tabletop mode on it. So that's what I was telling people, when you see them, grab them, because they have something that other projectors don't have. Now, if you get it with an ultra short throw projector, what happens is the screen has a wedge to it, which means the image is not laying perfectly flat to the surface. That particular projector has a special mode in it that allows it to be laid perfectly flat to a surface without the wedge. That's how we're able to project them off TVs. Now, there's another part that goes to that stand, which allows you to connect it upside down under a glass table, so you can project an image right through a glass table. That's why I bought that projector. And you'd be surprised, some of the older projectors, especially those NEC work projectors they designed for schools, they have some pretty cool options in them. There we go. So right now we're on future technology. This doesn't come out until 2026. Once we get a really good, woo! I can't believe we got around that one. Oh, there's one right there. I was wondering where the other power colors out there right next to the bouncers. There we go. There we go. I had to go back and get my Dragon Ball Z. I am trying to figure out what the frig happened to it. I paid for that game. I paid $60 for that game when it came out. And for some reason, it's not. Nothing, one of my accounts, none of my library accounts have it. But yet the game was available. At least I got it for $10 this time around. Gee, was really, I paid for that game twice. So these are basically replacements for my monitors. I had two monitors. One actually I retired to put on the floor. Actually, I gave it to the cat. And then I had another one, which was a more update model. I got rid of that one, and now the cat has it. The cat got upgraded. The cat's going to be upgraded pretty soon to one of these. Woo. And with these right here, they're paper thin. The flexes are paper thin. They're flexible. You can roll them up, put them inside of a case, carry with you. And the cool thing about this technology, you can go outside with it. You're not stuck to a wall. So when you have some people that show off their projection screens and they're talking about ambient projection technology, you can go outside and play in the sun with these. They can't do it. We don't require expensive projectors. As you can see in all our demonstrations, our projectors are under $200. So I can spend. I'm not allowed to spend anything over $200. Imagine that. So if you're only spending under $200 for your projectors, imagine what your customers spend for their projectors. They don't really need it. They don't have to have it. That's what I mean by forced 4K, where you're forced to buy 4K because your image just won't work without it. Or with our technology, you're not forced to buy. You can buy a 720p 600 by 800 res projector. Isn't that cool? I can see right through that thing. A see-through monitor. You know how much them things cost? They're very, very expensive. This technology, you won't be taking it outside, by the way. On top of that, also to add for you guys into special effects, the screen we showed off yesterday, with this technology right here, it has multiple applications where you can run all kinds of software through it. We can also use it to write on it. We've got a blackboard coming out pretty soon. The blackboard is the black version of this technology. It's designed that when you're in school or wherever you're at in the day, if you're using a type of projector, you can actually write on the screen. The projector can push right through it. So different version of a blackboard. And they can be used for other kind of applications too also. Let me see. Here's a minute. Cool. Let me see, we're over here on this side. My mouse is why we have the words mouse over here. Now, I've been working on this screen for roughly about a couple of months. I've been running my website, gaming, watching movies, sports. Check it out, see how it works. Fantastic. I freaking love it. There's no glare coming off the screen from monitors. The angle gain is at 180 degrees. It picks up from back to front. If I want to, I can dunk this thing into a fish tank and I can actually game or watch movies while it's underwater. No effect to the fish whatsoever, by the way. All the formatives we use on our screen are basically water-based. It's very, very safe. We don't have that. I can't basically be around the set. Ooh, offline. Heck, we're online. I can't play this game that well. I'm good, but I'm not that good. Let's see what to do here. Let's do LG visual effects. So LG is an OLED. I think OLED has that visual effect. Right. Oh, I forgot about the little guy runs around. Oh, that's no. So with the angle I'm at right now, I'm actually on a slant. I can see that whole entire screen, everything, the writing, all that, crystal clear. This is designed to replace everything. This is what this technology is intended to do. It replaces everything. There's no screen that can match it. Like I said, they operate outside in the afternoon, in the morning hours, and evening hours. I've been outside all over Allentown with this portable setup and these two projectors everywhere. So it's designed to go everywhere. You can take it, put it on your desk, and use it for work. You can take it outside and you watch a movie off of it. You can stick it in your storefront window and you can advertise right through it. The advertising that they use basically for that decal sticker, it's nice and all, but you lose your investment after you move because you can't take it with you. It's stuck to the wall or stuck to the glass. You have to bring somebody in with a power wash and it's coming in some kind of solution and a scraper because I watched the demonstration to remove it. That's your money down the drain. You just basically are not getting what you paid for. This technology, you can stick this in your window, do a live commercial. Not something that's stuck there, doesn't move. A live commercial through your window. When you're done with it, take it off the glass, put it back in this case, take it home, put it back on your wall, watch a movie off of it. You want to go outside, you want to watch the game on your deck, you can go do that. Go stick it outside, hook up your projector, watch a game outside. 12 o'clock in the afternoon. This technology is designed to replace everything. Dedicated theater rooms, the black version we have coming out, these new black screens we have coming out, these screens are designed that if you have an ultra short projector like the one I have over here in the corner, it costs me $60, has 4,000 to 1 contrast on it, which we don't even need, and that's pretty low. That screen is designed that if I take my projector, if somebody has those big bulky P2s, P1s, Epson LS800, big old piece of furniture, and I saw one, I was like, good gracious, that's a huge machine. I don't want to be staring at that a piece of machine all day. So I want something that looks more like a TV. That technology, you can take that projector and stick behind it, give you a sleek black looking screen. And when the image pushes through, it's going to enhance color. It's going to be to boost your white levels. And then on top of that, with that technology, no matter what projector you use, you're going to be able to read an infinity contrast level. Even outside, if you want to. So stuff we're working on for the future is being stuck to a wall and you can't go anywhere with it. Like our technology screen paints we have here, they can go to floors, you can go to ceilings, they can operate on the ceiling with the lights on. You can't do that with the everyday screen paint. Everyday screen paint, you're stuck to a wall and you're in an ambient light controlled environment. So think about that. Ambient light controlled environment with the screen paint. And with our technology, you can paint it to a ceiling, have the lights on it, and still watch the solar system go off. So that means people have dedicated theater rooms, so their screen paints are still going to be needed besides that because you can't paint the center. Can't do that kind of customization. But for the the Apex gaming technology is going to be different types of it. That particular screen paint we have here sitting on the wall right now can do something that no other screens can do. We can knock out certified screens. You can't knock out a $7,000 screen. You can't knock out a $7,000 screen. And I got money for $7,000. Say that, right? I got money to spend $7,000 for a screen. How do you convince me to buy your screen over a black diamond, over screen innovation? How do you convince me? You can't, because the diamond technology or screen innovation technology would beat the crap out of your screen. It's a far more superior technology. How do you convince me a person that can spend $3,000 for a dark star nine? There's somebody gray and white screens up there. How do you convince me? You can't, because that screen would destroy you. Your screen would never be able to meet or be able to match a technology like that. I mean, look at the game. You have a fake 2.0. It has a 0.8, 0.9 on that thing. You can't match that. Even the ultra short though version is far more superior than your screen paints. But our technology, and through testing, because we can back it up, that's why we can make the statement, because we tested it, and companies know they've contacted us on what we do. We can beat their screen. So that technology right there, sitting over there, has the ability to do something a gray screen and white screen can never do. What about dedicated theater room? You claim you're good for dedicated theater room. You can't read a black level. How are you going to work for me? I'm a movie buff, right? I want to watch Star Wars. I want to see that black star solar system with those gunships flying through. I want to see Darth Vader come out with that beastly black outfit on. How are you going to give me 100% black? Are you going to buy me to spend the money for a more expensive projector to fix the problem? That's costing me more money. I'm already putting an investment in you already, and now you're telling me it's going to cost me more money on top of more money? People don't want to hear that nonsense. They don't want to hear extra costs. So how do we do this? And you can't. On the other hand, with us and our customers, not only can they paint a 150-inch wall, but they can do the entire ceiling with that technology and get an infinity ceiling set up along with 150-inch strength. Infinity ceilings cost between $10,000 to $20,000 to have a light system, solar system, installed in your ceiling. Our technology, under $500, way under $500, we can put in a 150-inch professional screen and ceiling at the exact same time, and you can literally watch a solar system on your ceiling and on your wall at the same time without turning out any lights. Can't do that. And unlike the $10,000 to $20,000 infinity ceiling, you're stuck with a bunch of stars every freaking day. That thing is up there. Us, we can make it turn into an ocean, make it rain, thunderclouds, snow, whatever we want up there. We can even watch a movie up there if we want to. How much would it cost to do the installment? You can do it yourself. A short though projector, which we use in the demonstration. I use the ViewSonic we had over there. That's why I did one with the whole solar system on the other house with lights and ceiling. That projector would cost you $130. So $130 for your projector. A simple fire stick, about $35. And our technology, and you can put an infinity ceiling that changes out at will at anything you want to put it on for that price, instead of spending $10,000 to $20,000 and then having people coming into your house to tear out your ceiling to install it in. Yeah, that saves time, money, effort, stress, all that crap. It saves a lot of money on that. And then on top of that, when you're watching movies off your screen in your dedicated theater room, you're reading 100% black, which means what projector you're going to use in there. You don't have to spend a lot of money for your projector because you don't need the projector to make the screen work, because the screen makes the projector work. You guys got it backwards. That's the problem. The white screens are the requirement for high-end projectors. Every time I walk into an environment with a white screen, I know 100% that projector is going to be very expensive. When the gray screen came out, you're supposed to enhance the projector's capability by doing things that a white screen can't do. Now all this new technology coming out with this ambient light projection, ceiling light projection, all these companies got different forms of light projection technology. You don't really do anything. Can't give me 100% contrast. How is this going to work? And I can't open up a window next to you because your screen will disappear. So that means I'm stuck in the darkness. This is why I believe 100% that ultra short though projectors should never be projected on a gray screen ever. Now, if you sit there and say, well, I got a lamp coming in, my projector costs $60. I'm going to do a nice little demonstration. You want to take a screen, Split it down the middle like we've done these before. And we're going to put half gray, white, and our technology. Now, if we pull a star field demonstration, who do you think will read it better? It'll be us. Who's going to read color better? It'll be us. Who's going to operate in these well-lit environments? It'll be us. So if that's the case, what did I pay for? Now, white screens, we already know from the door, white screens are going to have these issues. That's what they do. People get white screens. The biggest lie you're going to get on your white screen is the fact that they're going to tell you your projector's going to fix it, blah, 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 blah. No. Then you're going to figure that out. You're going to try to figure out the next solution. And most people look at those high-end screens, and most people are not going to spend $7,000 for a screen, $5,000, $3,000, whatever. They don't spend that kind of money. They already spent money for the projector. They're already $3,000 on the whole with the projector. I got to spend an additional $3,000, $6,000 in. That's a lot of money already spent. So no, most people are not going to go down that road. So what they're going to do is they're going to go to the next thing. They're going to do a gray paint. And then when they get the gray paint with their ultra short, those set up, they're going to find out that I can't have it like a TV because I can't have my lights on. Then when my lights on, I get this ashy discoloration look across my screen. I can't get the color right. That's why they tell you calibrate, 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 because they know the colors don't come out correctly. You heard it when the guy himself said it to the church. It'll look better once we calibrate it, and that's when it was in the dark the entire time. So that tells you right there, they don't work. So now this person's like, what the freak is calibration? So now you got more research to do. So you're sitting back and popping some popcorn and enjoying the movie. You're now in ABS forms or some other form site trying to figure out what the freak calibration is, but some people don't know what that is. So then when you figure it out, you're thinking, oh crap, I got to do all this? That's kind of messed up when your projector has billions of colors attached to it and you still got to calibrate to get it to read. That's kind of messed up. That's the reason why you got it, right? Because, the person sold you a projector telling you it had all these colors. You're not going to see any of that. Can't read it. All right, then there's a problem right there for you. What about your contrast level in your projector? You got massive 2 million to 1 contrast. You can't read that. That's not going to happen. Does a salesperson tell you you're not going to read it? No, they don't tell you that. They tell you you're going to get 2 million to 1 ultra dark contrast levels. They know it can't work on a white screen. I have conversations with them all the time. It's funny. I can go to Best Buy. I can go in there and look at a projector, and I can sell on one of my screens. Because I know darn well that projector won't work on a white screen. It'll work on ours. So how is it that I can go to Best Buy and I can get them to buy my screen instead of me buying their screen? When they go to Best Buy, they have to spend money for an expensive projector to try to get their screen to work. If I go there, I can get the cheapest model on the floor, and they'll still be able to produce a better contrast level than the Epson 800 on a gray screen, because you can't read black. And meanwhile, all these people are getting thrown in a meat grinder over this mess. So something's got to change. And this is what all this technology is engineering is designed to do. As you've seen, you have people out there so bitter and so upset by our technology that some of them were willing to break the law because of it. Some of them were willing to go to jail because of it. Because they knew at the end of the day that their products were dinosaurs and they were basically fading out and about to die. As you know, one already, Crow 1176, who basically preached about how gray screens were so superior. But didn't realize that common sense would have told you that if you look at the Elite screen, which has been out forever, right? If you look at their category selection of screens, which you don't know too well, you would have noticed that the gray screen, which is the lightest one they have, is a Cinema Gray, which is $800, probably a little cheaper than that now, who knows, or maybe more, I don't know. But I know it's not $800 last time when I checked, is considered to be one of the low screens. You got the white screen, you got Cinema Gray, and you got Cinema Gray 5D. 5D is actually much darker. It costs more, it's like $1,500 more. And then you have the starship of them all, the Dark Star 9. So why is the Dark Star 9 being a much darker screen cost $3,000 when the Cinema Gray is $800? Maybe it's because the darker your screen, the more expensive the screen goes. So how do you sell a product claiming that it's a light paint, but yet it's supposed to be more superior than a certified gunmetal that costs far more? You're backwards. Completely backwards. Didn't know what he was talking about. He literally didn't know he was on camera. You go to any forum site and say, hey, what's the best projection for 4K and 1080p? And they'll tell you dark screens. Why? Simple. Contrast area. If you have a 2,000,000:1 contrast on your projector, you have a less of a chance of seeing any shades of dark gray on a white screen. Something will pick up or not pick up. You get to a gray screen, it improves. Contrast improves when you get to a gray screen. When you get to a gunmetal screen, it advances. It improves way beyond because it's a much darker screen. When it reaches our level, it's not needed because we are black. So that means the darker the screen, the more expensive the screen, the more better the contrast will be able to pick up. You would have a better chance picking up a heavier contrast on a gunmetal than you would on a light gray screen because it's a much darker screen. This is basic 101. Ambient light rejection gray screens. The high-end ones, the ones that cost you $1,500, $1,000, $900, $800, they claim to be ambient light rejection technology. They're not even anywhere near close to it. You companies out there with the fixed frame screens, and guys, you see two guys hanging up the screen, putting up on the wall, and you turn out the lights and go, look, we're picking up an amazing image. You can't read contrast. You don't even have ambient light rejection. Why are you turning out lights in your demonstration when you're supposed to be showing up a screen that's supposed to be reading an image in fully lit environment? That's what ambient light rejection is for. Ambient light rejection doesn't mean turning the lights out. That's the opposite of ambient light rejection. Same thing with the gray screen. You have a 2.0 game, and yet you spend a lot of time in the dark. Now, why these projectors don't work on these screens? Because number one, an ultra short throw is supposed to replace a TV. That's what it's designed to do. So you having it behind you in the back, and you get up and hits the back of your head, or you have your screen way up on top of the ceiling. You got to shift it to the top of the ceiling to do it that way instead. This gives you the luxury of having a projector sitting right on top of your table, and you can watch just like a TV. And keep saying it again, TV, set-top box, TV, laser TV, projection. It's TV. Problem is that it's not a TV. And the reason why is because gray and white screens, even gunmetals, can't read 100% contrast. And if you can't read 100% contrast, guess what does read 100% contrast? A TV does. We all know that. Come on. When's the last time you bought a TV and you heard the sales clerk say to you, well, here's the deal. You can buy this TV, but you got to be in an ambient light controlled environment. You ever heard that ever once with a TV? Never, right? Never at all, right? What about the OLEDs? OLEDs produce 100% black, like ultra blacks. You ever heard one of them say that? Well, you use this and you turn the lights on, the screen may turn gray. You ever heard that one before? So I find it interesting that when I watch demonstrations of projection setups, they'll put the projection screen they'll put the TV in the environment of the projection screen setup, but they won't put the projection screen in the setup of a TV. Every single time I've watched. I even watched Dream Media do it. They're certified screens. They were Black Diamond and all that stuff. They got that Dragon screen at the end of the day. They did it. I watched them do it. So, again, at the end of the day, how are you claiming to be a TV? How are you using these ultra short throw machines to claim to the customers? So don't forget about the customers. Who was buying this? For the customers, that this screen, this projection setup, is going to operate just like a TV if you buy it. Knowing darn well you're going to have to be in the dark, because if you're not in the dark, your color washes out. Mind you, that little bit of light we have over top of us, the little blind pullback, that can wash out a gray screen in a hot second at 300 lumens. We read at 300 lumens easily. So technically, truthfully, if we're going to be truthfully about this, and that's why forum sites don't like us, because we're not going to lie with them. Truthfully, you cannot pick up with an ultra short throw projector 100% black, perfect color balance, and can't operate in a fully lit environment, which was intended to activate like a TV with a gray and white screen or gunmetal. It won't work. Anybody willing to challenge me on the court on this one? Anybody? That your screen can't read 100% black like a TV. That's why we can say we're OLED-like, because our screens are black. We can read 100%. I showed you the demonstration with the monitor to the side, and we took the gray paint, put it on the screen, we pulled it back, we matched the monitor, they don't. How many are willing to bet this one? How many? I don't care. It can be companies. We don't care who you are. How many? I bet you if I take a year off, 1 year off, to take each one of you to court, I bet you lose. I bet you by the time we walk out of that courtroom, you would have to rewrite your entire specification sheet when I get done with you. Because you lied. You can't do that. There's no way in the world an ultra short projector is going to ever replace a TV unless your screen is actually black. That's the only way you're going to replace it. And then here's a bigger problem. You have screens that are black. They can't run on ultra short throws because I've seen them. Your now viewing cone effect goes off. It turns dark around the corners. Who was that? Solid Wake? No, it was Danny Rogers. Made a screen paint called the Series C, which turned out to be a great screen, by the way, after Solid Wake 5 or Daniel McAfee messed up in a live stream, or actually recorded stream, and a Starfield came on and his screen was outed. This is what happens when you mess with God's blessing. The product that they claimed that was ours on the screen was given to me by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And when you took that product and you stuck it in that environment, and Lord knew what you was doing. Lord knew you took his blessing, McAfee, and you went in and you did a demonstration calling me a liar. And my Lord was the one who blessed me with that product. That wasn't our product in the container. You knew it and God knew it wasn't our product. But what did the Lord do in that demonstration? The Lord outed you as what you are, because that's what it does. The Lord does. If we are in the wrong, all the technology we have ever engineered would have came out. Right? Now, this is the technology came the way, Lord, we got to the middle of the floor, and I asked the Lord to out me in front of the world. Didn't I say that right there in the middle of that floor? Lord, from all these things that they claim me to be, expose me. What did the Lord do? He blessed us with that technology and the one sitting on the wall right here. Now, McAfee went out there and did that demonstration, and what happened? He did a whole video. He claimed the Series C to be the darkest, blackest screen on the market. Did you say that? With excellent white levels. I had the exact same video recorded. And what happened? A Starfield popped up, and his screen turned gray, which means the entire time that he was sitting there telling you and lying to you on camera with Rogers, probably might feeding him information, the screen was gray the entire time. The problem with the Series C is it had a very difficult time reading black because it wasn't black. It was actually gray. Multiple demonstrations. We watched the screen change, and the colors, whatever he put in it, didn't marry well, and there was those spots on the screen. There was an English muffin kind of design to it that kept popping up, kind of gritty look. That's because there was a lot of water in the paint. The little bubbles were popping up. They were popping, leaving craters all on the screen. And the little white levels you saw was the primer underneath of it that was pushing through the screen. Now, the Series C and the specifications, you can go check it out for yourself right now, claims to have 2 gains on it, which we know is fake. It's a fake paint. Can't read 2 gains off the screen. You're painting in a different direction. That's a lie. Another problem it has, it's not ultra short throw compatible. It can't work on ultra short throws. It can't work on short throws. It's not compatible with it. You know what's compatible with it? Gray paint. That's what I noticed. Even with the gunmetal screens, the darker screens are not compatible. Majority of ones I see they're not compatible with ultra short throw. It'll be the lighter grays or the mid grays that can read up on ultra short throws. They haven't learned how to operate ultra short throws on black screens. So far behind. It's so far behind. You can do that easily. I could have done that in fully different environments. Like I've done that multiple times on site with an ultra short throw. Same when I got over here, I paid $60 for it. I walked to the carrying place over there on up here in Allentown with that same projector. Operated anywhere I wanted to go. Fully a commercial environment. The IWA projector, they promised you a 150-inch screen. Valve promised you a 150-inch screen. I got a 150-inch screen off that projector, cost me $60. I can operate environments they can't operate in. Reason why we're activating that machine, because we're going at IWA. IWA's demonstrations I've seen are poor, extremely poor. You're doing a demonstration to that company from me to you. You're doing demonstrations on this projector that you're claiming to have all this power, but yet every single demonstration, that thing is shrouded in darkness. Because I'm sure enough, if I'm buying a projector for replace my TV, I'm not changing my environment. So for TV, I can have my lights on. With the projector, I got to turn them off. That's backwards. And I spent how much money for that thing? A $5,000 projector. Yeah, I'm telling you, industry full of lies, 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 lies. Now, if any one of you and people in the industry, or whatever you are at the end of the day, we don't care. You figure that what I speak here is completely lies, then you see me in court. And I'll show you at the end of the day that not only will I clean your clock in court with no problem, I'm not talking about just, he's out of business. He's out of business. Those two are out of business. Let's move on. I'm talking about the industry, the big dogs. If you feel that what I'm doing here is completely phony, hey, see me in court. That's what you do. That's what you do. See me in court. Because I can back up everything I'm doing. And I guarantee you, two things are going to happen in that courtroom. One, you will lose. That's definitely going to happen. And two, I will get the publicity at the end of the day of knowing that I walked a major company into a courtroom and I kicked your butt. You don't want this. Trust me. Ooh, look at that. That would be looking at us. Let's see. No, I don't want to look again. Oh, it's Civil Battle. That's lobby. Okay, we don't want to go there. We want to go offline. Let's go offline. Let's do. Is that Brody? Looks like Brody to me. Where are you? There we go. I'm trying to get my butt kicked under that. Beginning story. No, we don't want to do story. Where's the freaking microphone, man? I haven't played this game in a while, man. No, we definitely ain't doing online. I know what battle. All right, cool. What was that? So, 2026, this technology changes everything. Ooh, man, see, I had all these unlocked, man. I had to do this crap all over again. Now, I gotta just pay for the ultra short lamp for our projector on the floor. That cost me $36. That's it. So those projectors over there cost it cost me $33 to place the lamp. That's it. Mm. Let's see what we want to go play. Man, I can't wait to play this on the gamer. This is not gamer technology, by the way. Oh, excuse me. Let's bring it one this way. And mind you, we're on the Max Sonic projector right now. This is way under 600 by 800 res, and this projector is 50 lumens. Okay, this is wild. That's good. Oh, that was switching. No way, buddy. No way. No, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm playing the wall, people. Ah. There's some rock in this. Yeah, I gotta learn to rock on this. I haven't played this in a while. Ah. And see, colors are absolutely faint. This is only 10% technology. We haven't even dabbled too much with the flexes. The flexes can be cut, designed, manipulated wherever they want. If you have a gaming PC, you want to add visual effects, you can do it with this. The Steam Deck or Steam unit they're using, I'm making my new cases or PC cases we're working on. They're designed in this technology, which means the case is actually built out of a screen. And it uses this technology. That's what we're working on next. So the Steam unit that's coming out, I'm building my own. I'm just gonna build my own. I'm building my own. Because I'm using this as my casing. I mean, you've got to be crazy not to use it with my casing. So this will have my casing on it. It means I can install projectors inside, and I can actually project visual effects all over my screen. I can have anime playing on one side. I can have on another side. I can have fire display, fish on one side, or basically I can actually play the game itself right to the screen. But these are 12 by 12s. Let me see what we got going on here. Oh, sorry. You got it running through a charge unit back here. I'm a charge unit. It's not displaying. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, no wonder. You had it charging at the same time. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's definitely not going to work. All right, figured it out. I had my unit charging at the same time. That's something new to find out. It won't operate the components if the battery pack is charging. We charge it to a battery pack because there's a battery built into this particular projector where I can run it independently. But the only problem is you can't run it for less than, I think, 2 hours you can get off of it. So we got to run it through our battery pack system underneath of the table, which doesn't take much power at all. And I was charging at the same time, and I guess the charge wasn't hitting this, it was just hitting the battery. So we're good, we're back in. So note to self, you can't charge the unit while you use other objects and just other components that won't work. I'm actually getting this game right on today. I do like it. I played it. I do like it. Why I have this way over here like this? 4K tropical fish.
SUXS.
Now, this is the reason why I'm going to explain this real quick in this one right here. Why you naysayers, we don't mention you anymore. You know why? You're a part of Great Paints. That's why. That's where you came from. Certifieds don't. There's no certified screen that has a naysayer. They don't have them. You guys are Great Paints. You came from the era of the Jamies and the McAfees, and so you came from that era. That's what you guys are. You're low budget paints. We don't mention you because the technology we engineer is beyond y'all. So we don't really. We're really spearheading more toward the high certified screens like Screen Innovation and all them. So you guys, at the end of the day, you preach that great paint bull crap. We don't run into that nonsense. Now, I'm not saying other paints in the day. Well, forget it, all of it. Just all great paints. We can take you guys on easily. It's no point, no contest of what we develop compared to what you guys have. You can't. You have so many shortcomings on your stuff. It's not even funny. So you guys are outdated, right? You're preaching and carrying on and crying and whining because of gray screens, and that's it. We're not spearheading a campaign for you guys. It's Screen Innovation. It's Elite Screens. It's DMP Supernova. It's Seymour AV. Those big companies. This is what we're spearheading. Why our technology is better in TV. So there's no point in mentioning you anymore in videos about calling you the naysayers because who cares about your crying and whining about gray screens? As I said before, and it's the last time I'm going to say it, so you already know what I'm about to say. If you feel in any way that your screen paint, your gray, whatever you preach, or you stand behind 100% works, sign a contract, meet me in court. If you feel my stuff doesn't work, have your lawyer reach out to me. Take me to court, sue me. Say I'm all these things. Oh, please do. I can't wait. Or sign my contract. Other than that, just go to your YouTube channel and cry because that's pretty much what you do. So when we talk about this technology, it has nothing to do with you because you don't sit in our category class in any way whatsoever. All right? I'm glad we had the conversation. Let's move on. All right, let me play this right here. Bam, got some fish pulling up on this side. I don't know how you're still complaining. One guy is not even in business anymore. He's running a counterfeiting ring, which again, that's not going to last too long. And the other person Nowhere to be seen of. He disappeared. No activity on his YouTube channel. His website's sitting there dead. There's some traffic pushing through it. It's nothing. It's a dead website. And the other fellow is scared to come online. His page pops up from time to time. It's Facebook, and it disappears. So what are you preaching about? What paints are you talking about? The people you were backing up don't even exist anymore. Who you on your channel crying about? There you are. It's gotten sad. Do verses. So since we don't have this problem with certified and high grade screens, so they don't do this stuff. Only thing we run into when we go to the channel is we have to prove it. They'll say, okay, well, I got so and so and so. Show me why your product's better than mine. Show me a screen paint you can take out. All we have to do is just show demonstrations. That's it. We're done. That's it. They don't go around and their customer base is a little different. They don't go around breaking the law and all this dumb nonsense. Even with some of the gray screens that I talk to, they don't even do that stuff. They're professionals. Only you guys do that mess with those two people. So please, people, never understand this. It has nothing to do with Goose Screens. Don't do that nonsense. Box don't do that nonsense. Paint on screens, smarter services. They don't. None of those companies do any of that stuff. Anybody on eBay listing, they don't do any of that stuff. Anybody on Amazon, they don't do any stuff. It's just two people who do that reckless behavior nonsense, and that'd be Jamie Fernando Gonzalez of Pro 1176, which again, website is shut down. My buddy owns his domain name. What's the other thing too? Facebook page he pulled down. You know why that happened? We watched that on a YouTube live stream. He's gone. No more paint. He's done. He's out. And then the other fellow, which is Danny, his products don't even work. And his site is dead, which means my buddy can go check your IP on your site and see exactly how much traffic is flowing through your site, and the site is absolutely dead, which means there hasn't been an update on that site. No freaking search engine optimizer was never even activated on it, which means the site wasn't even fully activated when it basically came online because, again, these were just basically something to show off to make him think at the end of the day that he could take my company on. But, like I said, I got you to return all my money back to my account and the receipts to prove it, which means at the end of the day, it proves that your stuff never worked to begin with. So what's the point of bringing something up when you don't even exist anymore? Only we exist. I told you in the long run, at the end of the day, what did I say? I said these businesses are shortcoming. They don't know anything. They don't know enough to last that long. They won't be around long. Sooner or later, they're going to cave and collapse. And what happened? We're still here. It tells you a lot right there. Like I said, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. And now all they do now is they complain on their channels about us. What are you complaining about? You're like a crew without a battleship. That's what you're like. You're on the shore screaming at the other ships that do have battleships. Their crew can stand on a ship at the end of the day, especially ones that they can stand behind. They can fight in battles and win every single time. And yet your ship is sunken to the bottom of the ocean. Your crew sits on the pier screaming and yelling at other ships. So pretty much what you are. But let's move on. I got time to talk about past. Oh, let me see. I'll do this one right here. You have no future. Oh, I only got 2 of these. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get this out of the way. Maybe you can get that color. Now, anytime anyone has anything to say anymore about anything, if you were to make any statements about my technology is not true, I won't even bother having the conversation with you on Facebook or any place or YouTube. We'll take you to court. So you make a statement that, oh, our technology hotspots and spread these rumors, you'll see me in court. All lawsuits will start up at $1 million. So you know exactly where we're coming from. You will not get a cease and desist order from my attorneys You will get a straight up lawsuit right from the door. We will show you no mercy in court. We're not one to be playing around with. We want to be known in the business world as a company you don't play with. It also develops the most advanced technology and can back it up on every level you can possibly think of, challenging any company at the end of the day. And that's how we're doing things in 2026. And please do not underestimate my cyber investigators, because if you think at the end of the day, because you're on a fake YouTube account or whatever you're using, that if we get enough evidence in court to prosecute you, we won't be able to track your whereabouts and bring you into court, because we will. Ooh. Basic common sense, people. Basic common sense. I find a lot of companies use these guys at the end of the day, and definitely I'm hiring a bunch of them. I know a few people that do it anyway. Ah! Okay. Take that. Now, people who don't do dumb stuff at the end of the day, they're not bothered by my statement, because I'm supposed to make that statement. Those people who have the intentions to do things that they know they should not be doing, because God knows what you're going to do before you do it, by the way, so you know that. They're the ones who get offended by it. Ooh. I'm going to change his. No, he's the same. I'm not wrong with that. Man, at 10%, man, camera's not going to be able to read these things. You can get it finished. This is nice. It's better. I'll take that piece. Well. You can tell these are real people that they had wearing those sensors. The stance, that kick, that back kick, that front kick was beautiful. He extended his whole chest into that kick. That's so tough. Dang, bro. I've never seen anybody punch anybody that way. Now rise up in the air while you do it. I'm going to see that side kick again. That side kick came to his leg and came. Man. Some people think a side, they don't even know how to do a side kick correctly. Side kick. Your kick be like this. It's supposed to be this way when you side kick. Your foot It's not supposed to be slanted this way. It's supposed to be this way. Heel is ball, your heel is supposed to be out. Yeah. I'll take that. Don't care. You see it stands into that downward block? Oh. Anyway, move on. I'm definitely getting it. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. I basically got to go and I got to extend my screens now. Yeah, we should do that. We should extend them down to 6 more tiles. 6 more tiles to knock them out to get it done. I'm just going to replace the 2 damaged ones. I got about 4 damaged ones I got to go. I'm going to put them on the desk for the 4 damaged ones because we can use them for something else. And I'm going to replace those down to, let me see, we do 1, 2, 3, 6. There's 9 now. It's going to be 9 for each wall. Using pretty big screens. That means I can switch out my screens. I can't do 1610s on there for 235.1s. So now I can do 235.1, 1610, 16.9, and 4.3 if I want to do old-fashioned style. I want to do the old-fashioned screen setup. I can do it that way. All right, pretty good gumdrops. I have other things to do today. And then we got the lamp coming in for this one. So I got to take this apart in maintenance. I got PC maintenance today, which I'm taking this machine off. And to my surprise, mistake I made. Well, no, I didn't make a mistake. I didn't think I would need them. I didn't think I would need 3.0s. I didn't think 3.0s. I would never use 3.0 USB adapters and found out I actually have to have one. These PCs and micro ITXs don't have 3.0. So I was thinking about doing 3.0 adapters, which they don't make. There's no such thing as a 3.0 adapter to 2.0. It doesn't even exist. So that's out the door. Or I can replace the motherboard out of this one, because this motherboard needs to be changed out anyway. But even if I change out the motherboard, the CPU is not high enough to run the game applications to run the Connect system, VR system. It won't run. It won't run half the titles that I need. This is arcade. It's not designed for that. So we have to pick up, I can build a PC, or I can just get a Dell and modify it the way I want to. So the cheapest way to do it is get a Dell and modify it. So I forgot it's a 7050 Dell. $210, not bad. It has an i7 7700K on it, which is good. That's a very good chip to put on there for basically chip CIP, not the other word. For gaming applications. And it has 32 gigs of RAM. That's more than enough. I'm going to need it in the day for what I'm going to do with that thing. It does have the 3.0s, which now I can run the Connect system, which I can get what I need it for, and the VR setup for it. And roughly, I'm going to do a 3050. I need a 3050 on that one, a 3050 on the Fallout, but the Cube's going to get a 5060 on it. But then again, I'm reading about the 5060s, and there's going to get a lot of bad reviews about the 5060s, about problems they've had. I don't want to deal with problems with this with the graphic card. I really don't. So I need to find a stable part. I got to read more on the 5060. I want that 5060, but I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know right now. To tell you the truth, I got to figure out first. I hope this thing doesn't overheat, because the last ones, what was it? What had issues that were overheating and burning the cases down? This case is plexiglass. So, yeah, we got to be careful about that. So, I got to do some research on this first, see what goes on with it. I'm definitely liquid cooling it. I'm definitely going to take it apart and liquid cool it. There's no way I'm sticking that thing in the case without doing liquid cool it. So, yeah, other PC we have to build, we need it for the Connect system, the VR system, and this goes for a sensor system. That sensor system, we need to have that activated because we need to run it through the back of one of these screens. If that sensor system picks up and allows me to control that screen, with the sensor being on the opposite side of the screen, I'm sticking that in my new system. I got another one I'm getting. I'm going to stick it in my system so that way I can operate my Steam unit, custom-built Steam unit, with the Connect system, which will be fantastic for VR applications because it comes with actually by the VR system. The VR system doesn't have sensors. It doesn't have full body tracking sensors. Index and G2s have them. But the steam unit, that's going to bring out later on, doesn't have a full body tracking system. And once you've done full body tracking, you can't go back. You just can't go back. But the Connect system, on the other hand, they use that for full body tracking because that's what it was designed for. It was perfect for VR. So I'm going to basically run that through the system and run either the Steam Machine VRs, or I'm going to probably pick up the Quest 3. And the reason why most likely it might be the Quest 3, because the Quest 3 has applications in there that I can use. That's why. There's a particular thing I like in the Quest 3 that they don't have in any other VR, and that's that virtual museum. And that thing is absolutely incredible. Definitely, ouch, worth basically getting that over the other ones because of that particular option that I want. Not too high. Now, I'm going to put on my fish because I can use both my screens today. Now my desk looks a little bit normal because before I had cardboard and everything else on that building in the little village back there, which I'll resume probably in another 3 or 4 days. I got some stuff I got to work on first. So then I'll get my desk back to where it was. When I got maintenance to do, I have to go into the machines and clean out the radiator system so they can actually function better. Mm-hmm. Hold it, the deep. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, let's do a fireplace. Yeah, come over here. Oh, that's cool looking. Unrealistic, but cool looking. Yeah, it doesn't scream. Ooh. No, we're not doing all that time. I'm going to Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk visual display. Cyberpunk visual display. Future technology. You can do this. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. You hear my cat go. This technology, man, I'm telling you, is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, these are basically sample test screens. We don't give these out, by the way, because it's still under the whole government shutdown. Kind of halted our patents and copyrights and all that stuff we need. So this ain't going anywhere. But man, once this thing launches, if you have any idea what gamers are going to be to do with this stuff at the end of the day, the stuff they're going to be to build around it, this is so much cool stuff they're going to be to do with this. It's unbelievable. And one of the things I was talking to a friend of mine, car dealerships, if you want to put real advertising on your glass, we have a surface we're making that you can cut and manipulate. It's like a film. Put it onto the glass. It doesn't have to stick onto the glass or nothing, no residue, nothing. And you can take a portable projector just like one of these and stick it in your back seat. Doesn't generate any heat, nothing, and push an image right through that glass and advertise your car. Can you imagine the contract we'll be getting from freaking Bentley and Bugatti, these big companies that can advertise their commercials right through glass? Yeah. That tech is unstoppable. That's why I said these guys are screaming and crying at the end of the day over some paints. Man, they got paints that can date back to 7s that can take you out. And we're talking about a future technology. You can't compete with this. Now, I've seen them try to mimic. Sad. If you can't make your own stuff work right, how are you going to mimic the new technology? It's like people trying to make our products and they can't even make their own products correctly. What you doing? What you doing? What you doing? See, that's why we got to put the new one in, because put your claws to it. I want this one to go a little more. I said neon C. That was nothing neon about that C. Ugh, research. Static image view, cyberpunk. Don't do this today. Keep doing this today. Well, you know what I'm talking about, Jocko Man. Jocko Man. This one did I want to call them explosion. The cloud explosions would look pretty cool too on here too. I want to do the cloud explosions. And it's going to generate heat. That's good. Yeah, I do those. All right, people, that's it for me. I got some research to do. Not to dismantle the whole Dell. I'm definitely got to take it apart now. Because there's no way in the world I can bring that machine here intact. It's not going to work. I had to put a new power supply. And yeah, we got to override the liquid cooler. Liquid cooler, definitely got liquid cooler. So definitely yes. Power supply, liquid cooling. 5-pin extenders to remove the two fans and drop them someplace else. I got thermal paste here. I'm good on that. So I'll need that. I need a 8-pin to 24-pin. Yeah, I got to get that adapter for that. They changed all that out. Definitely got to get new kill switches. Definitely coming out of that case. That case got to go. Yeah, the case should work for it. Yeah. The cube got something else in it. Where's the cube for something else? Put it in the fallout. Fallout PC got to finish building that thing anyway. Just stick it in there. Got the case already done anyway. Yeah, okay. Put it in there. Put it in that case. Okay, we'll do the fallout piece. I'm gonna finish that thing anyway. Strip the whole part, machine out, put it in that case over there. Anytime I get a Dell, things I gotta do with the Dell, it's definitely gonna be power supply. I know that from the door. Now that I know about basically overriding the motherboard for the fans, we don't need to change out the motherboard now, so that's good because I know these are where it's getting that. But all things come. It's all things come at their time. And definitely gotta change out the pins on it. So we have to make them from 8-pin to 24-pin. There's the extenders to the fans. Fans have to stay intact. You can't unplug them. You unplug them, you're going to have issues. The security system goes off and says, hey, if there's fans missing, your system's going to overheat, or shut it down for you. So we're just going to move them someplace else, but they're still going to be intact. Transfer them someplace else. And that liquid cooling system, that's pretty much it. That's all I can think of. And the graphic card, because it does have dedicated on it. We don't use dedicated. Dedicated graphic cards means you're sharing from the RAM itself. You got 16 gigs in there. You got 8 gigs that are going to the system and 8 gigs that are going to the graphic card. That ain't much. So you want that dedicated. So you want to up it at 16 to 32 and then put in a 50-30, a 30-50 in there to be done. Because that is on dedicated RAM anyway. So that's perfect. We'll finish your fallout pizza. .4K 3D matrix screensaver. All right, that does it for me. I know I said it over and over again. I think some stuff I had to do. I'm gonna leave my matrix running on that side and my kitchen cover on that side. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the demonstration or updates. You know, we got to update our stuff now. Everything has to be updated. And we got the new projector coming in. Not new projector, but we got the ultra triple lamp coming in. So I got to come back in. I'm going to do a tutorial on taking apart my PCs and basically pulling the lamp out of that projector so we can get that ready. I gotta go to the landfill too. There's a landfill around here somewhere I can drop off my lamps because the lamps have mercury in them. They can't be dropped off in the trash. All right, with that being said, thank you for your time and God bless. And of course, what do we thank for all this? Sorry about that. We thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing us with amazing technology because if it weren't for Him, none of this would ever be possible. Okay, give all glory to God. All glory to God. Mm-hmm. That's a ray. All glory goes to God. I'm going to do the matrix over there. And I think on this side, I'm going to do. Wait, what's this right here? Underwater neon cyberpunk? Really? Oh, that's freaking awesome. I like that. Ah, now see that? That's a roughly around, I would say 100 meters. It's 100 meters. Why? Because you see the light. See the light right there piercing through. At 100 meters, you can actually light can actually pierce the ocean floor. Not ocean floor, but the ocean at 100 meters. That's how I know how deep they're at right there. I did all that research on how many meters it would take in order to build a city. But still, that would freak me out because look at the tallest steeple right there, how close it is. If a boat came past there, he would definitely tear that up. So that's a zone where you can't have boats at. Actually, I never thought about that part. Huh. You could zone out the entire area where boats can't be at. But still, you'd be victimized to storms. Lightning strikes can travel at 100 meters down. So everything in there would be shorted out. Unless you have some way to capture electricity, conduct it into power. That's a way you can do it. That's a way you can charge the city. Now, see, now I'm going to be looking at this. I'm extending. This is why I can't stare at stuff like this because my brain would be like, well, how do they build this? How would they? Because it'd be perfect. At 100 meters, this is excellent. You have light you can see, which is good. But then you run the risk of everything else over top that could affect you. You know, your tsunami or tsunami, you're definitely going to be hit with that. That's no doubt about it. If anything happens, we are 100 meters. You're still even you're still deeper. The average scuba diver is like I think 15 or something like that, or a professional 37 or something like that around that. So you're at 100 meters. You're still far down, but you're at a close enough distance where light can penetrate through. I just don't like that right there because if a boat goes past there, it's definitely going to strike that unless you have it in a walled off system, which would be hmm, not bad to tell you the truth. If you were to cage it off at a not close but at a far distance, you wouldn't have to worry about any kind of creatures getting in there, like sharks and all that stuff. Small fish could feed through it, but nothing big enough that would cause any danger to anybody else. So that's not a bad idea when you really think about that part. Why don't you cage it off? And then you can have beacons out there where boats can't go in that area. You can even have a safety barrier before that barrier that would block any potential boats from accidentally actually striking the city. Now, see, there's a possibility right there. But just to be careful, I would do 150 meters. I wouldn't do 100 meters. That's way too close. Never thought about that. You could cage it off. If you cage it off, it'll block boats from striking the city. You can keep it at maybe 150 meters, which is still good. Even at 120 meters, you're still good. Any lightning strikes that would hit, you have a system designed to conduct power. Like they have the weather vanes, or they have the things for conducting electricity. You have buildings that are way up there. Lightning has to strike those units from time to time. So they have something that basically absorb the energy or absorb the electricity keep it from tearing out the building, tear up the building, it'll blow every window out. That's possible. Do the same thing here. Ooh, I've got research to do. That is really interesting. I never thought about that. A cage method. This would keep bigger predators, apex predators, away from the city, but yet filter in for smaller fish. Give it a more realistic effect. Of course, you don't want to be in the dead ocean. Hmm. Well, that solves the mystery of being able to build a city under the ocean. That solves it right there. You have to cage it off. That's the only way. That's a shark cage. Shark cage, you can stick you anywhere in the ocean. You're safe because you're inside of a cage. I wouldn't cage the top, okay, but the sides around it, well, you don't have to have close to the city. It's like when you play a video game, you get to the very edge of the board and you have that little barrier that pops up, and just like that. Get plenty of room for people to explore around the area, but you have it caged up. And the ocean's huge, so you really won't be taking much away. Well, that's a possibility. Now, the question is there going to be taxes down there? That's a whole different section of the world. I mean, underneath the ocean, it's going to be taxes. Are you going to have to pay for? I mean, what's the whole policy you're going to have down there? You're going to have some kind of way to police the system, because you're going to people don't dumb stuff down there as it is. It's another freaking Bioshock. What are the utilities going to be? Air would be one of them. Definitely, air would definitely be one of the utilities. It's messed up. Air should be free. It should be free oxygen. You should have free oxygen. Most people worry about waste, eco waste, throwing it back into the ocean. It's not a hard solution. Instead of toilets flushing downward, toilets would flush up into tanks that are actually on land. That way, it never touches the ocean. You would have a pipe, but you'd have another pipe inside that pipe. You should have multiple pipes. If one bursts, there's another pipe to protect that barrier. Air conditioning flow systems, not hard to do. You can have air conditioning units on land that can flush air into those pods easily. All that can be done over top. Or if you don't have land close enough, you can actually build in. People make man-made islands all the time. Oil rigs. You're gonna have an oil rig up there that's designed, that's stationed to basically monitor that particular unit down there by flushing air down there, by basically disposing waste, all that stuff. Well, they do. It's an interesting concept. It's mine. You got 85%, or mine's let's say 100%. That's not we're not living down there. Definitely know what execution would be at the end of the day. It won't be fun. It definitely won't be fun. Commit a crime down there, they'll stick you in a tank and fill you up with water. Oxygen. They'll cut your oxygen off, put you in a chamber, cut your oxygen off. Definitely. Or even worse, you stick you in another chamber and it basically fills it with water. You drown it. It'd be a cube in water that would actually be slots will pull back and water will push in. You slowly drown to death. Don't commit crimes. You don't have to worry about being in that whole situation. See, something that terrifying, you have little crime rates down there. Nobody trying to get put into a tube filled with water, or basically in a system where the oxygen slowly, you know, pour. No, because you got to do something. You're gonna have people down there running rampant, doing whatever they want to do. But you my big daddies running around down there, which I doubt we have that. Well, we do have that capability. We literally have that capability. We have an Atlas. Atlas is a smaller version of a big daddy. Make it about the size of the Big Daddy, put a giant power drill on it. There you go, got one. Still, that is freaking cool. Yeah, because you have to understand, if you build a city under the ocean, you're going to have crime. You're definitely going to have crime. People are going to look at this as an opportunity. So, sounds kind of harsh, but that's what you have to do. So the mechanism system for that would be interesting. You have a huge cube, multiple holes in it. It'd be on a hydraulic platform that'll sit up in the reach of your whatever you did, so and so and so, so monitor, blah 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 blah, so and so and so. You can set it to depth, and then slowly the hydraulic lift will start to drop under the ocean floor, and those holes will start to fill up with water, and you're drowned. Now, how many people do you think are willing to commit crimes and go through that nightmare? There you go. You can put the hydraulic platform that lifts up at maybe about 300 meters. That's a nightmare. That thing drops to the top of the ocean, and they put you in that cube, and that thing starts to slowly descend down to 300 meters while you're in that thing. Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of crime. Wait, would they do what down there? So wait. If I commit a crime, yeah, you murder somebody. They stick you in a cube system, and it basically drops down to 300 meters in the ocean. You slowly drown to death. Like, yep. Oh heck no! You're going to see great. You're going to see less crime down there than you'll see up here. There's no such thing as a utopia. It doesn't exist. You're always going to have greed, hatred, jealousy. It's always going to exist. As long as you have the devil on the planet, you're always going to have that destruction. You're always going to have it. I love how people try to build utopias, or people try to get together and live in one big apartment by themselves with a bunch of other people. We're going to have this perfect. It's impossible. Satan exists. That's why. That's why you're always going to have wars. People get up there and say, "Oh, we're going to have peace," and impossible. You have Satan. Satan exists. That's why you'll never have peace on the planet ever. It'll never exist until God comes back and destroys Satan. It's the only way. Other than that, since he's here, you're going to have all types of crazy stuff. So people say we'll build a utopia and there'll be no war, there'll be all peace. Everybody, man, that'll never happen in a million years. As long as he exists, you'll never have peace on the earth, ever. You always have greed, envy, jealousy. You'll have something. You'll be the front man of it all. You can't do that. It won't work. Even when people try to live together, you have fights, arguments, jealousy, hatred. You watching reality shows. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to be nice to everybody. You end up hating somebody at the end of the day. I can't stand that person. That fast Satan already got to that quick. So you can't have a utopia. It doesn't exist. No world you build at the end of the day, unless you got machines up there. If you got all machines, well, that's something he can't really mess with. And that's pretty much it. But you can't have no people in there. If you got people in there, you got problems. So you can't even have two people in there, you'll have problems. You have three in there, you have problems of all kinds. Nope. It's still an interesting concept. I do like it. So these are little pods, but then they got buildings. They got actual buildings with lights in them. That's kind of interesting. Let's say built structures and then put these other structures on it. The lights on that light up and all that. That's pretty cool. I like this. So they had to build stuff like this for fish tanks. How come they don't build stuff like this for fish tanks? See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about at the end of the day. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm explaining at the end of the day. Why some people just are not. They don't. They don't use their talents the way they're meant to be used. It's a shame at the end of the day. You went out and counterfeited all that merchandise. He's going to go to jail for this mess. You could have been doing something else with that. You could have been making stuff like this. How much money people will pay for basically a fish tank, underwater exhibits? I would pay for that. Something like that in my fish tank would be sick. Put lights in there too on top of that. It'd be sick. An old mansion back there with lights flickering in. Oh man, it'd be crazy, man. You could have been doing something like that with that machine. Could have been printing out kids' cups. Not with any licensed material on it, of course, but make your own weird, wacky looking kids' cups, something for a cup for a kid. Just what I said, some people don't have that brain to be able to think outside the box. They're not equipped with it. Not equipped with it at all. They can't come up with their own ideas. No imagination. Could be doing something else with it. But fish tank, how much money it costs to basically buy props for your fish tank? I know I had a fish tank. I spent a lot of money for props for it. That stuff is expensive. It gets expensive. And you can be printing that stuff out. Even though it's plastic, it'll float away. They weight it down. They put these weights in it. So you basically, he could have made a little area that you put a little slit in it that you can slide weights into it and cap it off. And it would basically drop it so it doesn't go anywhere. Simple. I got an engineering mind at the end of the day, so I pretty much would know how to basically put all that together. No problem. I won't touch 3D printers because them things will mess up my lungs. I'm scared to death to go near those things because my lungs got damaged. Once you go through lung disease and your lungs get really damaged to the point where you barely can breathe, yeah, you don't want to mess with anything like that whatsoever. That's a horrible ordeal to go through for many years. But man, if I didn't have that problem, yeah, that's the first thing I would do. I'd basically be designing stuff like this for people's fish tanks. And easy to do. You make a little compartment that you can slide weights into that would drop it, that would anchor it. Bingo, that's it. Have the light systems in there because they make waterproof lights and all that stuff you can put into your tank. That would be hot inside of a tank right there. That would be sick. But they'd rather commit crimes than do that. Too late now. Ain't no point in switching that button on and saying, hey, I'm going to decide to take his advice and go. I told him from the door, don't do that. Don't print out licensed items because you can go to jail for this. Everybody knows this. How do we not know this? How do we not live on this planet and not know that rule about touching copyrights and trademarks and stuff? No one's learned this one yet. We were talking about that on Thanksgiving. There are two people getting sued. There's one person getting sued by Mattel. I think Barbie's suing them for something they did. They came up matching, almost identical to something that they had, and they're suing them for that. And the other guy got sued by Nike. This is a different one. Got sued by Nike, and he lost everything. What did he do? Oh yeah. He put down Ike, and he took the swoosh and put it around backwards and got sued. It's still there. It's called similarity lawsuit. People understand that. Just because you take someone's item and you turn it around backwards, if it comes up looking anything close enough to theirs that can cause customer confusion, they hit you with something called a similarity lawsuit. You can be hit with those. And then you have to prove, like, say you have an idea and I don't know how that would even, I don't even know how he got away with it. Go patents office. Because the patent office is supposed to, he didn't do the search. If you didn't do the search, you can deny the search. You got a choice, you can do the search, and they search and see if anybody else has it besides you, as far as you do the search. You probably didn't do the search, they knowing that it would probably have been denied because it was close to Nike. And that's what he didn't do. But if he did the search, they would have denied his application. He didn't do it. Because they warn you, if you don't do the search, you run the risk of somebody having this already, and you can find yourself in court. Now, most companies knowing that at the end of the day, maybe you may have a chance of winning this, they'll tie you up in so much litigation, and you can't afford to pay those lawyer fees for that long. They can. They're a big company. So you'll break in no time at all. They're dragging on for years. They're draining your resources dry. So, yeah, you'll tap out after a while. But other than that, yeah, you gotta do that whole search thing. You gotta do global search. We do global searches at ours. No one has that cube except for me. I have rights to it. So if we got you with that cube, we're going to take it to court and sue you. You can't. This is where people make the mistake about the cube. They think for some strange reason, because our name's on it, they think that gives them the right. If they take the name off of it, then they can use the cube. No, the cube is actually registered as a 2D artwork on the United States government. So if we catch you using that cube, you're getting sued. And these lawsuits, if we take you to CCB is roughly 30 grand without prison time. If we skip CCB and we take you to federal court, now you're talking about a $250,000 lawsuit, almost a $500,000 lawsuit, and up to 20 years in prison. You have to have a permission slip from us giving you permission to touch it. If you don't have that slip, you're going to jail. That's it. Open and shut. That's why the processor was beating on his door, because the courts saw that information we sent them, like, oh, heck no, we can't use this. It's a registered copyright. That's why the processor was there. This guy got it. I don't know what fictional world he lives in. Says, oh, you didn't have enough evidence. You don't know how court systems work. You'll find it. You'll figure it out. You're about to find out how court systems work. But that's the reason why process servers show up at your door, because there's enough evidence for them to be there to give you a summon for court. He doesn't understand how a court system works. You have to have enough evidence first to be able to take the court. And if there's enough evidence there for a judge to look at this and go, okay, there's enough evidence here, we can basically start a trial on this, and get this ball rolling, he's going to sign off on it. So once he signs off on it saying there's enough evidence, that means they get a process server. You got to get a process server. I had to go through 3 boards to look at the evidence we had showing them touching the copyrights. And one of the things we had to show was an official certificate from the United States government showing that we had a real copyright on these items, because you have to prove that first. So once we're able to show that, and they were able to look at the evidence, the review board multiple times and make sure, because once they sign this thing gets very serious after that. Then when there's enough evidence, then they say, all right, you got to send a package. We had to send a package over to a process server, which means we had to track our own process server down in California and send them that packet. And when they look at the packet, it's okay, this is court order. This is telling me I got the right to go to this person's address, because he's got it by court order. He has a right to be there. So if you call the police on him, he says, look, I got a court order by the judge to be here to serve him. He can override anything at the end of the day because he got that court order. So he'll get that, because you can have them sent by lawyers. Lawyers can send them, or basically you can get them sent by a judge. This is a cyber judge that's involved in all this what's going on. So basically they're the ones that sign off on it. So that's why the process server was knocking on his door, because they had an order from the courts for him to take this document. And that document reads that he's being sued in court for $30,000 for touching our copyrights. And this is the time and date, The cyber judge is going to be able to, you can log in with the cyber judge and talk to the cyber judge, and we can all go from there. Now, this time around, well, we're not going to have this time around. We ain't never going to reach that. The reason why, because he committed a bunch of crimes. A lot of agencies were contacted, and now there's an investigation going on for Mr. Fernando. A lot of people don't realize that. Fernando thinks for some strange reason, because no one has contacted him. No, Fernando's under monitoring, so they're watching Fernando. On top of that, Fernando right now has multiple cases, and he's under investigation by FBI and several multiple agencies. So right now, yeah, he's already processed, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So with that being said, yeah, they got to look into all that now. That's part of an investigation now. But anyway, yeah, doing dumb stuff. I don't understand people why you touch copyrights, but that cube itself, that's a copyright. It's called 2D artwork. It's on our copyright. So I had a woman already, she had the cube on her page, and she went in and she was using it. We sent her a letter saying, excuse me, miss, you can't use that. I sent a picture of my copyrights and look it up, and she removed it. That's what normal people do. So just so you know, if you think at the end of the day, because Jamie was messing around with that cube, and you think that you can use it, see what happens to you. I'm going to take you to federal court. I'm going to clean your clock in there. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You're going to owe me a lot of money. You see, this is why I said at the end of the day that people like you are easy. We call easy money. Why? Because There are companies who deliberately just copyright random stuff. It has nothing to do with nothing. Just copyright it for the sake of this copyright. And just throw it out there. But there's no information whether or not this stuff is copyrighted or not. They're hoping that you touch it. They're hoping that you touch it and basically use it. And they'll sit back and they'll watch you, knowing you're using their copyrighted material. And then after you've had it for a while, issue a lawsuit. Take it to court, clean your clock, take money out of you. And they'll throw it right back out there again. They're fishing for lawsuits. They have them out there. People do that. Just on the copyright. That's why you got to do a copyright search. Go into records and pull it up and look into it. Like, okay, it's and it comes in like, oh crap, it's kind of get rid of it. But he knew 100% that stuff was copyrighted. So anyone we catch you with it, you will never get a cease and desist order from. Just tell you from there, you'll never see one from us. A lawsuit. I'll hit you from there with lawsuits. If you're dumb enough to touch that thing at the end of the day, knowing that we showed you multiple times on camera that they're registered, what's the point of sending you a cease and desist? We're going to take money out of you. And the way the economy is going today, no one can afford $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 lawsuits. It's backbreaking for some people. Yeah, I don't bother that stuff. Any piece of artwork I got that I have that I've ever done, I always do searches on it. That's why we know what the copyright records are and all that stuff is actually going to look all that stuff up. That's how I knew about Partey. Partey's name itself is copyrighted. It belongs to a fellow over in England. Now, if he has a global on that, he can hit him in the United States with it. And he used the name Series. Series is actually been used by, who used that? I think Elite Screen has that name. He used the PSP that belongs to PlayStation. See, they're nothing original. They rip everybody off. Sirius is actually a star. It's supposed to be the brightest star in the galaxy. Did he ever mention on camera? No, he didn't, because he doesn't know what it stands for. It actually stands for a star. Hey, people, what you been doing? Let me see. Goopity Goo took it off a Goo screen. Because Goo screen stuff is called Goopity Goo. The people called it Goo screen, Goopy screen, Goopity Goop Goop. And at one point, because they were calling themselves Goopy screen or Goopity Goo, a lot of people wanted to use the name Goopity Goo to describe their screen paint. So we stole that one too. Elite Screen Series C. Elite, not delete. Sheesh. Those companies have that name. But anyway. Or the diamond, one of them has it. But yeah. Yeah, there was a company came out with white diamond screen paints. And black diamond was like, nope, can't use that. Too close to my name at the end of the day. But in the end, we did warn you. We did tell you, right? We told you he was a criminal. Yeah. We told you Fernando was a criminal. We told you this a long time ago. And why do you believe this, right? And what is he doing now? We told you this. We told you he's a career criminal. And so everybody got saying, oh, you're just this. Why would we be jealous? We were here first. Our technology is far more advanced than his at the end of the day. And again, we're still here. So again, we're still developing technology for the years to come. And they're done. They ran out of steam. But we told you he was criminal. Usually criminals who have criminal activity will continue criminal activity. And that's what he's doing right now, criminal activity. But difference is he's monitored by FBI and several agencies because, and also too, the companies are involved. They're going to be sending them out some letters pretty soon. Let me see if we're doing this one. I want to do Under the Ocean with this one. This was pretty nice. I want to keep that one here. I'm changing this one out. So y'all put y'all names, addresses, all your information, paid through credit cards, debit cards. So a person was a career criminal, which has now moved on to bigger and better things of ripping off companies and stealing their ideas to make money. That's what you invested in. Let me see something. 4K tropical fish screensavers. Okay, I'm gonna do me a whole Under the Ocean theme. And you're mad at me for what? Oh, you're mad at me because you said I was a scammer ripoff artist, but a lot of you going to court for that one. And you don't have the money to pay me. So what are you mad at me about again? You won't sign my contract. You won't meet me in court. Do I have to send these letters individually to your homes now? Is this going to come down to this point now that I have to have letters come to your houses now, to your job, certified letters from the courts or from me coming to you, basically asking you to back this up in court? Do we have to do that? I know where you live at. You do know that, right? So do I have to do that? Am I going to have to make that step now? Because you know I will post the tracking numbers everywhere. Mr. Rogers, McAfee, and Fernando, and Williams. Do we have to send these letters out to you? Well, Williams is crazy. So there's no point. Williams ain't there. Williams got problems. Williams got a lot of problems right now involving the federal government. But anyway, do we need to send these letters out and post the tracking numbers? Because if you can't meet me in court, that means you lied on everything you said on camera. So do we need to send letters out to you? We have letters going out today. Where they at? To whatchamacallit's getting letters today. And it's also got we're going to be taking them to court pretty soon for using the cube without permission. Can we do sharks? I want to do something underwater. Something like really crazy underwater. Can we get I want that whatchamacallit, that giant from that side. That let me see. Let's see. Relaxing AMSR fish tanks. I want that one that has an endless flow to it. Has a little castle in the background. Did you even listen to what I said? Relaxing AMSR fish tank under the water. I'll bring something jacked up under the water. Watch. Always going to be something jacked up under the water. It's a fish, not sea monster. Like that crap. Not that freak. Seriously? Oh man, we get to do floor projection technology pretty soon. And then once we get the system hooked up, we can do interactive floor projection technology, which means I can use a Connect system hooked to the projector to be able to move objects all over the floor. Ooh, we're gonna have a ball with that thing. How come you don't like fish? I just realized that. You do not are not attracted to fish. Oh, that was hot. No, I want the other one. Where's the other one at? I swear, every time I one of these things, I can find them. Ah, let me see. That's a cool fish tank. That's pretty cool. AMSR relaxing fish tank. It's under AMSR. Oh, it'd be perfect. It'd be side by side to this one. Where's my fan at? I didn't generate heat. This one was pretty nice. I'm gonna take this one. $40,000 commercials just to see something. Hey, what are you? No. I'm too far out. Oh, this is actually pretty hard. I like that right there. That is really, really nice. So, big question. What are y'all bitter about? The haters at the end of the day. What are you bitter about? Jamie doesn't exist anymore. Jamie's in trouble. Roger Sykes is dead. McAfee's hiding. Williams, well, he's crazy. So, again, what are you mad about? And for those out there that claim to me to be all this, that, and the other, you won't sign my contract. You rather cry behind your YouTube channel at the end of the day. We know we see you. So that's the reason why that level of stupidity and dumb nonsense, we'll let the courts handle all that. They'll sort you guys out on that one. Till then, I'm going to take my technology to the big boys at the end of the day. The bigger companies, the ones you can't compete with that. We can. You guys sit there at the bottom level and you cry and whine. So FBI or law enforcement service, somebody pops up on your front door because it is going to happen. I guarantee you that much. Every day I make phone calls. You know that. Every day I make phone calls about you to people at the end of the day so we can get enough built up so we can get you into a courtroom as fast as we can. I just want you to know that every single day we call out to an agency to bring you in. All the evidence we have on you, submit it over and over and over again to as many agencies as we can. I'm going to get you in court. You're going to end up in there. And until then, if you feel that you're snubbed in the comfort of your own state at the end of the day, I'm going to file charges up here and criminal charges to bring you up here. Because you already know my condition. You can't get on planes. So I'm going to talk to the DA to see if we can get an order to have you transferred up here. That's what I'm working on now. So you're going to be up here sooner or later. One way or another. Either they come see you or you're going to come see us. It's not going away, so you know that. But until then, you guys will be dealing with that nightmare. It's coming soon. Till then, I got to work on another level. It's this technology to basically work with the big companies and show that we're number one. So never believe at the end of the day, because Mr. Byrd said something. If I mention something on camera, never believe at the end of the day that it's going to go away. It's never going to go away. Not ever. It means we have people that are working on your case to get you in front of a judge. It's never going away. So never get comfortable with your life. If you committed a crime against my business, we can guarantee 100% I'm going to have you in front of a judge. Like Fernando thought in the day that we were joking. We had somebody beat all over his door in screen process server. He thought we were joking around with that. We're not joking around with that. This time around it's going to be different. So we don't forget about that nonsense. It has to be handled as business. As a matter of fact, I got to call the police officers back on Mr. Williams. On that whole, he took the address down, by the way, Mr. Williams, of the people who used their address without permission. It's identity theft. So I got to reach back out to them today. matter of fact, right now, and they have your apartment number, where you live at, the whole 9 yards, and they have. I'm gonna give you two other addresses that you use without permission. These are stores in Philadelphia. Where's this folder at? There's a massive huge folder somewhere. I ain't missing that much, man. I gotta put the phone back on those two other addresses we got to print out. I'm gonna put it somewhere. Okay. Do that. Let me see. Where do we stick those in? They're here. Can't figure out where. I gotta call 2 places today about him. I know. In an office, you would think I wouldn't use stuff. I use stuff in here all the time. Yeah, I found you. Now you're in here somewhere. There you're in here somewhere. Back here. That's stuff here. There we go. All right, perfect. Use two of their addresses without permission. I got to reach out to these stores and let them. We're going to contact them anyway. FBI is going to contact them anyway. Here we go. Let's see. $22.50, Philadelphia, PA. Yeah, you use their address without permission. Let me see. There's another address we use without permission too. There we go. That's post office. Yeah, it's funny. He sent us a letter, an email with the federal people who deal with crimes with the United States Postal Service, and that's the ones we're using right now to file the charges against you. And this is another address we're using in Texas without permission. To fill them up. See, he used multiple people's addresses. Let me see. That's 22. Use their address twice. And use their address again. All right. Get that phone call together. Thank you for the number, by the way. Actually, shorter and quicker process. It's actually reaching out to them. You may get a talk from your people, from the manager, from your building, on basically maybe removing you out of the building. And the reason why is because a letter was sent out to them. And in the letter, I told you, we have pictures of you half naked in your postcards. They went out to a bunch of people in your building, actually people like the managers and stuff like that. Section 8, all that, you know what I mean? They received a letter from us. And in that letter shows the police report that we filed against you, and also too that we had to file with the United States Postal Service for federal for the crimes you were committing over here, and that the report was put out about you. So they'll be receiving that letter shortly. Maybe a little later because of the holidays, but they're going to receive it. Now, like I said, he's mad because he doesn't want this information to get out to these people, but you felt comfortable enough to send it to me and my sister who has kids. You felt comfortable enough to send it to them, but you don't want your social worker to see this. You don't want your caseworker to see this. You don't want the building management to see this. You don't want the people who actually run the building for Section 8 and public housing to see this. You don't want them to see it at all, right? Too late. And you don't want people who basically at the funeral home, you don't want them to see it. Oh, we're going to redirect it and send it right out to them. Where's that letter at? I got it right here. This is the last one we got to send out. This is going to the building management for the one that basically operates the lease for your apartment. So for your lease, for you to stay there, they're going to be getting this pretty soon. So I'm going to send this out today. And Mr. Williams has your little colorful picture on it. So we're going to be sending it out to them. As soon as I get my whatchamacallit back, I need my incident report from the Postal Service for federal on basically a case that was filed against you. And we're going to be asking over the Allentown case number we have over here with Allentown Police Department and with FBI. So once all that's in, I'll begin the process of sending it out to them, explaining to them why we are filing a lawsuit against the building. He got a little mad and upset because he said that we did him wrong. Well, if you don't send half-naked pictures of yourself all over the internet, I mean, and you don't want certain people to see it. So you don't want case manager, you don't want your freaking your caseworker, none of them seeing those pictures. Why not? You sent them to us. I got a business partner who lives up in Baltimore. He's going to stick you on a billboard right next to your building. And you're lucky you didn't do that. And you couldn't have sued him over it because you sent it out there, right? That's like somebody going out there and doing pornography, and they want to get upset because their pictures are all over the place because they changed it. We don't do that anymore. But you did it already. It's free game. It's going to be everywhere. That's one of the consequences of basically of doing that kind of business at the end of the day. So you sent pictures of yourself half naked all over the internet. So guess what? If you pop up on a billboard next to your building, that's not my fault in the day. That'll be your problem. And they can't ask them to take it down because, again, you posted it. So you want people to see you. All right, now you got the opportunity. So it's up to him. I don't have no control over that. That's none of my business. But he said it'd be kind of funny. He's like, you know what? Let's actually just get a billboard right next to his apartment complex and post him. And I think you're about to get posted, buddy. But that picture now is in a lot of places now. If anyone wants to have it, and post it and put it in a video, and now people are using it and putting it everywhere. Why would someone be that dumb enough to do something like that? I told you, it's crazy. And this is the person, also they tied the fact that you taking claim that you're a reverend, a preacher. You're supposed to be a man of God. Let me tell you something, Mr. Williams. Claiming yourself to be a preacher and taking pictures like that, I wouldn't trust you near a school zone. Because that's the first thing that'll pop up in anyone's head. I wouldn't dare touch my kid around you. Because that is some really creepy behavior. That's super creepy. You mean to tell me if you got you found out your son's football coach, basketball coach, any one of them were sending pictures out like that, would you have your kids around them? No, you wouldn't. Oh, heck no. I wouldn't even want you living next to me. You need to be on a special list at the end of the day. Especially when you have people who claim to be people at the end of the day that people are supposed to trust. Like teachers. So let me see. Wow, this is a manager's name. Use the manager's name in this one. This is a manager's name. You're using your manager's names? That's a manager's name. I know that guy right there. Okay, well, Let me get over here. I got work to do. I'm gonna go show my screens off on Facebook next. I got business I got to take care of. I got to make that phone call today. With that being said, see y'all later. Mr. Williams, I wish you the best of luck, but I don't think it's going to work out for you at all, period. You're like 50 something years old, right? So, man, anything we've charged is going to carry 20-year prison sentences. So, I mean, you probably won't take it seriously because you're crazy. But other than that, it ain't going to go well for you. Letters will be there pretty soon because of the whole holiday season, but that one right there is going directly to the people who basically set your lease for your building. We need to let them know about your activity and who now what agencies are involved with you now. And the addresses you've been using in the surrounding areas, including over in Philadelphia and Allentown, that you've been using without permission. It's definitely considered to be identity theft and mail fraud. So again, when we called in, we had to give our information, we had to give his information, everything. So yeah, and also too for Baltimore police. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. Added some updates. Oh yeah, gentlemen, that is part of updates, by the way. The updates of us basically taking into court and prosecuting you for attacking my business for no reason at all. Look at that. Beautiful. It is. Gotta go. Now let me see. I gotta contact them right now.